Now I hit it up. Oh, but I know oh, yes, he did. Cali. Most bitches praying that I crash. The those guys, they don't want to see you last. They take $3 million to run your tax. A tub full of money, I still can't relax. Time spinning, Lord forgive me, I'm a sinner, conquer your five niggas. Wrong side of the position, only define winning. Better listen when I tell you I want time in it. Please forgive me, God did. So leave me in the dark, swimming with the sharks. Dope boy, big calm, still the biggest boss. Got a kilo on the plate, still I'm on the freight. Or I could go and buy a bank, I know my money's safe. They down in the south. They didn't think that we were made up. They didn't even up. Oh, but I know God. Oh, yes, he did.
Sky is the limit every day I reach. They was tired of me winning, now they dead to sleep. Don't want to see me with the ring, you better play D. Nigga, God did his thing when he made me. With the odds stacked against me, I could crack the bench. I know only God the judges, I say that for Britney. They smell.
Bless up, one and all, one and all. Welcome to another edition of the Troy Graham Experience with the Three Kings. Oh my, that's all I got to say is, did that really happen? Did that really happen? Saturday night, Sunday morning? Did that really happen? Did it go down like that? I thought, I thought we was going to see a classic. Well, we did see a classic one-sided beatdown. I'm just gonna keep going. You're gonna catch on. If you're not catching what I'm putting down right now, you're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch it in a second. We were looking for a classic on Saturday night, Monday morning, and what did we get? Can't be a big fish when you're going up against a country boy who's a fisherman. See, big fish came in there thinking he was Moby Dick, and he ran into a whale slayer. That's right, the slayer, the conqueror from Nebraska, Omaha. And he got slain from round 2 on. That country boy got his hooks into that big fish, and he wasn't going to let him off. He was going to reel him in. Got his hooks on him, and he reeled him in. He reeled him in. He reeled him in, reeled him in, until finally he got him where he wanted him. And the referee was like, got to stop it. I got to stop this. Look at the beating this man is taking. There was a point in the Spence versus Crawford fight, I believe it was round 7, when Spence caught, no. When Crawford caught Spence with a right hook, and he didn't knock him down. He knocked him across the ring into the ropes, and his legs went outward, and Spence just slumped to the ground. And I said, the fight is over. Crawford, being who he was, he was cautious, but he still put in the work. So he took him out 3 rounds later. But you don't see dominance like that when you have 2 undefeated fighters at the top of the game and all that. Look, don't be disrespectful and say it was a car crash and this, that, and the third, because the fight he had after the car crash, he fought a guy by the name of Danny Garcia with no tune-up. He went right into it, right? Looked good against Danny, beat him. I don't want to hear about the car crashes, both of them. I don't want to hear about either one of them. That's because what you're doing right there is you diminish him. You don't diminish Crawford. You diminish Spence when you do that. Don't do that. Just be honest. He was outclassed. He was outpowered. He was outmaneuvered. And one man came with skills. The other man came with more skills. How difficult is that to understand? How difficult is that to understand? It's not. But when you start making excuses for one party because it suits your agenda, you take away from both these gentlemen's efforts. Don't do that. Let's have a real honest to life boxing conversation. As we always do. Not one of those guys that's gonna sugarcoat it one way or the other. This was my thought coming in on Saturday. I said, well, I didn't realize Spence was so much bigger than than Crawford, but I still believe the breakdown was going to be first couple of rounds, maybe 1 through 4. Spence was going to, take those rounds, not by much, but he was going to take them, right? And then 6 and on, that would be Crawford winning the fight, and he would get stopped somewhere. I said the 10th round, so from 6 to 10. That was Crawford to me. I said 10th round. Marvin McDowell, who was on here from Umar Boxing, was on here Saturday. Friday, the champion maker. If you missed Friday's show, you missed a good show. He was on here and he said 9th round, and he kept saying 9th round with all that confidence he got. 9th round, 9th round. Well, guess what? He was correct. 9th round. He took him out in the 9th round. Honestly, this was my thinking. And call me, I didn't want to see him hurt, but I would much rather him go down and he just finish like that without any excuses, because he could always say, well, the referee stopped the fight. Yeah, the referee stopped the fight because you were taking flush punches from either hand. You were taking flush punches, man, and it wasn't nothing nice. You were just getting beat. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What was supposed to be this generation's Hearns versus Leonard turned into a one-way fight, a brutal one-way fight. Now, honestly, I still enjoyed it, not because it was one way, because you saw the effort that both fighters were giving. It's just that Spence had no answer, none, for Crawford's straight left. I mean, he has this world-renowned trainer in his corner. You couldn't tell him what to do to avoid the straight left? Move in the opposite direction, maybe? Maybe? Stop giving him so much distance, maybe? I mean, what do I know? I'm just some dude who sits on the couch and talks boxing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I don't know nothing, It just says the Troy Graham experience on the name of the show. Experience being the key word. But you couldn't tell me that in all your years of boxing, you can't tell your fighter how to avoid a left hand, a straight left. He wasn't even trying to disguise it. 2 jabs, 3 jabs, boom, here come the left. 2 jabs, left. Quick jab, left. That's right, Khan Shonery. He didn't have an answer for that right jab. That was a shotgun jab that Crawford was using. It's called a shotgun jab. That's what he was using. Shotgun jab is when you actually plant your feet and throw it like you would throw like a straight up, like a power punch. And being that he is right-handed, even though you're saying, well, it's coming from the wrong foot, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. He still landed it flush, because every time he hit Spence with that jab, he didn't just hurt him, he moved him. You would figure that would be Spence doing that to him. But no, sir. No, sir. But, hey, good fight nonetheless. I enjoyed it. Hope everybody else enjoyed it. Because I've been watching the replay, and let me tell you what, it got brutal after the second round. There was no need for it to go on past round 6, actually. No, past round 7. That's when he did the most damage. It was after round 7, there was really no need for it to go on whatsoever. But it went on nonetheless, and we got what we got. So, no knocking it. I hear him talk of this is Spence. He mentioned he wanted a rematch at 154. Now, what purpose would that serve? What's going to change at 154? And I don't want to hear, well, his timing was off. Who told him to take off almost a year and a half? Who told him to do that? Nobody. Hey, really? I'm sorry, y'all. really you don't lose your timing if you stay in the gym. So whose fault is that? There's this thing called being professionalism. Crawford is a ring rat, so he could take a fight whenever. He stays in the ring. He stays in the gym. They want to see a rematch ASAP. EJ can end up like don't say that. Don't no don't. We don't want to do that. We don't ever want that to happen whatsoever. No sir. We never want that to happen. So I don't even say that in passing. I don't joke with that. That's serious business right there, brother. I don't ever want that to happen to anybody. Nobody. Seriously. What happened to Gerald was heartbreaking, man. I don't want to see any fighter go through that ever again. I stay in touch with his sister from time to time. That's his angel. That's his nurse, his caretaker, his everything right now. She should be coming on here eventually. She's putting something together, and then I'm gonna have her on the show. Great, great, great human being, great soul, his sister. But yeah, let's get back to yeah. But yeah, oh, good gracious, man. So my question is, where are they going from here? Where does the winner go? Because I hear talks now of Boots Ennis, right? So yeah, I think that Boots could give Crawford a run for his money right now. How old is Crawford right now? About 36 or something? Is it around that age? You think Boots would give him, because see, Boots can't stop the right hand. Boots, every go watch all of Boots' fights. What's the one shot he gets hit with all the time? Straight, right? He gets hit with a straight every single fight. Every single fight, no matter who he's fighting, he's getting hit with a straight. It don't matter. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. You know, every single fight, that boy get hit with a right. Now he's good, but he needs work. He needs work, y'all. You know, and that's I put the wrong person in. I'm looking for how old Crawford is right now. You know, and now Crawford, people are getting it wrong. You have to say, a lot of people are saying that he's the first man to win undisputed in two different weight classes. That's not true. He's the first man in the four belt era, but not the first fighter, not the first man overall to do that. No, the first man to do that was Holyfield. Holyfield was the first man to do that. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. So it's not Crawford, y'all. It's Holyfield's the first man to be undisputed in two different weight classes. Crawford is the only man to be undisputed in two different weight classes in the four belt era. And in all reality, if he could have kept making 140, he could have been three. And if he goes up to 154, there's a good chance whatever's left, if he gets a shot at those titles, he could be three. And then he's in the Hall of Fame already. But to have be 3-time undisputed in three different weight classes, no one could take that away from you. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying, Conshanri. And in this era, he's the only one to do it at two different weight classes with the four belts, because the WBO was just coming around when Holyfield was champion. I believe Michael Dokes' manager is the one that founded that belt, the Cowboy. I don't remember his name, but he's the one that founded that belt. I think he was saying that he left Michael in his will. That's how much he loved Michael, right? Michael Dokes, that is. So throw some names out at me, y'all. Let me know. Feel free to jump up on the panel. I put the link in there. It's somewhere in there. Right? At least I think I did. Did I or didn't I? Wait a minute. Yeah, it's in there. I'll put it in one more time, so if anybody new pops up, they'll see it. Want to jump on, be my guest. I'm just waiting for the other the other two kings to pop up here, right? They like to make an entrance, so they'll definitely be here until they break. Spencer's a good fighter, but he's never been called on to switch and adjust. No, Spence. Okay, I want y'all to peep this. Every PBC fighter that has stepped out off that PBC arena, what usually happens to them? They lose badly. Look at Wilder, he lost badly, right? Look at uh, 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 my boy here, Adrian Broner. He stepped out of the PBC umbrella. He lost badly. Look at Spence, lost badly. Every time the PBC fighters step out from under the PBC umbrella, they get beat. Anybody know why that is? Can anybody tell me? Hey, he fights them all the same way, though. Exactly. He's a pressure fighter. Tarver said it best. He said that he sees Crawford before the fight, a week or so before the fight. He said, I see Crawford winning. I see Crawford winning because I've never seen Spence have to readjust, counter punch, cut off the ring, do any of that stuff with anybody. He just comes forward and pressure. That's what Antonio Tarver said. And he's never been more right. Never been more right. The first man to not just beat Roy Jones, but knock him out, said that. And, and the only man I think to beat Roy twice. So he has a knockout over Roy and a decision. And in all reality, he should have got the second fight too. They robbed him, right? So, that's what it is, though. Nothing wrong with using one style and one direction as a formula, but it won't work. Well, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you stay with certain fighters, Conchanery. If your fighters are being picked because they fight a certain way and you fight a certain way and your style is the better style, guess what? You're gonna win every time. I mean, listen to what Floyd said. He said, I don't look at training videos. I just train in my style. Because he was picking his opponents for the last 12 years. And that's what was going on with Errol. His opponents were being picked for him. Joe Frazier fought everyone in the same until he ran into George Foreman. And George Foreman loved that style. That type of fighter George was, he loved that style. But what people don't seem to understand is George Foreman never knocked out Frazier. He knocked him down 6 times. Frazier just wouldn't stay down. So George Foreman said that. He said, I couldn't believe he kept getting up. He knocked Frazier down 6 times, but he never knocked him out. He said he was afraid of Frazier. He was afraid of that hook of his. He said Frazier almost caught him once, and he said, I got to get him out of here. I got to get him the hell up out of here. Just like there was a part in the fight where Earl caught Crawford with one of those wide hooks he likes to throw, and Crawford didn't budge. And then that's when he got dropped by Crawford's hook. Crawford. And see, the thing is, when a fighter starts moving you backwards with just his jab, you win for a long damn night. You in for a long night because see, when he moves you back with his jab, you can't see his other hand coming at you. You cannot see that because number one, you're off balance and you're trying to readjust. And then while you readjusting that split second, boom, right here comes the left hand for your ass with everything I got in it. And that's why he kept getting hit with it and hurt with it because he was trying to get his balance back after being pushed back by the jab. And that left hand was like, boom, boom, every time. It just was, wow. It was just coming, man, So, but hey, a lot of people I don't want to listen to other people's podcasts and I don't want to seem arrogant. I'm not. I've had my time with that. I mean, Coach, I listen to, and then that's really about it. And if Bruce is on, I'll go over there, right? But other than that, I really don't give my time to too many other people. I've done that. Didn't work out for me, so no more time. I'm easy to find, so if anybody really wants to hear my voice or find me, it'll be easy. And really? No. Because when Floyd fought Cotto made him fight his fight. Like I said, he picked those fighters, man, And if Cotto's uncle was any bit of a trainer, he would have told him to adjust and switch his timing up and all that and made put Floyd through hell. Because that's what the drunken master did. He switched up his timing, switched up everything, put him through hell. That's what Chop Chop did. Until, Floyd got in his rhythm. But Chop Chop gave him a hell of a fight too. See, with guys like Floyd, you just have to you just have to switch your rhythm up. And and pressure him in a certain way, you know? And don't aim for his head. Beat his hips up. You think Floyd fought Cotto's fight? Yes, I do. Until Cotto kept doing the same rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a rhythm. When you're in that ring, there's a rhythm. And once you get the other fighter's timing and rhythm, the fight's over. So yes, Conchon, yes. Mhm. That always flipped the script their way. I guess I don't know what you're saying, but yeah, man, that's what I'm referring to. Okay, the timing and the rhythm. Yeah, because see, once you get in there, there's a rhythm. If you could get the fighter's timing and rhythm, the fight's over. The fight's over because he's not going to be able to do anything with you. You know, and you have to have some great eyes to do that, and just have a. But what you have to do is make sure that he doesn't get your rhythm. So you have to be helter skelter purposefully. You have to be able to change up and go from 1, 2, 3 to 2, 3, 1 to 1, 2, and then 1, 3, 3, 1, and just change it up. Sometimes you stab them with that jab, and make sure you throw that jab to the gut. A lot of people don't do that no more. Step in with that jab to the gut, and then turn that thing into an uppercut. You know, trust me, they'll be pissing blood. And if you land that uppercut, oh my, oh, you know. But yeah, man, how you see a Bud versus Thurman? I think he beats Thurman easier because Thurman has been off for a while. Unless Thurman gets a tune-up fight or two in there and he gets his timing and so forth back, then he's gonna beat him easier because Thurman's style nowadays is similar to Spence, and he throws wide ass punches, and Crawford throws straight down the middle in most cases until he gets you hurt. That's when he starts hooking off on you, but to wear you down, he throws straight punches. Whereas if you watch Thurman's fights, he throws a lot of wide ass punches. So I see him taking out Thurman in the 7th or 8th round. Now, what y'all think if he moves up and fight Charlo? Depends on what's left after what Alvarez does to Charlo. But what do you think? How you think that fight will go? Well, does Charlo have to vacate his belts to fight Alvarez? Because obviously Alvarez is not coming down to fight him because he don't need to. Charlo has to go up to fight him. So does he have to vacate his belt? That's because of timing, Conchonry. Yes, timing. But make no mistake, them looping punches could catch you too if you don't get the fighter's timing down. And if you timid or if you're just pot shotting, the wide punches will have you moving backwards and your straight punches won't have any effect. But if you know how to distance and stand your ground and move with the right amount of time, guess what? You're gonna, you're gonna do something. You're gonna be able to do something. So yeah, but what do you see? How do y'all see the fight with Crawford going? Crawford and Charlo, if that fight ever comes to pass, how do you see that? How do you see that breaking down? Yeah, let me know. That'd be interesting, but even though Crawford would be way bigger than the brother, right? He'd be way bigger than him. I'm sorry, Charlo would be way bigger than Crawford, but the way they fight is just he's very aggressive. So that's really tailor made for what Crawford does. He likes aggressive fighters. I think Miller would be too damaged from the Saul to mess with Bud. So if those belts become vacant and then Crawford moves up, who's up there that could give him a run for his money at 154? Is there anybody besides Charlo? Who's there? Well, let's not jump ahead that far. Let's talk about Boots Ennis. I'm gonna work on getting him. I got a contact for him, so I'm gonna work and see if I get him on the show. He's just been a little difficult to get because he stays busy. What's up, Ant? What happened to the Earl bandwagon? I was never it was never a Earl bandwagon over here, brother. Brother Ali, who should be on his way. He was the Earl fan. I was the Crawford fan, and then yeah, brother Ali was the Earl. I was always rooting for Crawford, man. But yeah, good to see you though, Ant. But yeah, so give me a thought. Roy Jones got himself into trouble throwing punches, wide hooks, and regarding the plan they took. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he did. Also, Roy Jones pulls back after he throws punches, and Taba with them long arms caught him. Oh, that was only Brother Ali, brother. That was Brother Ali. Everybody else was pulling for Crawford. I mean, everybody that was up on the panel. Whether it be Major, Marvin, Kevin Kelly, Kelly Pavlik, Andre Rozier. See, that's what I'm gonna do on Fridays from now on, y'all. Fridays, I'm gonna have a strong panel of people up here. We're just gonna chop it up. So make sure you're here every night. I do this talk Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but definitely come through on Friday because it's gonna be a packed house. I like both fighters, but clearly understood that Crawford had the better skills. He had more skills, yes. Yeah, because you don't do what he did in three different weight classes if you can't hold it down, Definitely. Definitely, man. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the other two brothers to try and come through in here. And we're gonna do it. If not, then I'll be on here for an hour, brothers, because I gotta get up in the morning, go to the doctor anyway. But I'm gonna stay on for an hour. If the other two brothers show up, the other two kings, and we could make it a little run for a little longer. But hey, the name on the door says the Troy Graham Experience, so let's go. But yeah, I actually believe that Spence in this era is as good as they come. Not Spence, Crawford. Crawford is as good as they come. And uh, if you just go back and watch Spence's fights, you'll see he fights the same way with everybody. Because to me, what I do is in their so-called big fights, I'll watch how they perform. And when he went up against Brook, he didn't do anything. He didn't really make a statement. He won, but he didn't really make a statement. His other so-called big fight was against Mikey Garcia. He didn't really make a statement in that fight either. You know, he beat him, but he didn't stop him, and that told me all I needed to know. He's just good. My grandmother always told me there's good, better, and best. He's good, but he was never the best. Yeah. The link is in here, Ant, if you want to jump up here. People mainly consider Spence's size and strength as being his favor, but that was wrong. Let me tell you what, he's similarly built to Simon Brown, and Simon Brown would have knocked him out. If Spence fought Simon, Simon would have knocked him out. Simon was a better fighter than him. You know, he would have knocked him out. I'm positive about that. But Simon has more tools in his shed than old boy here, Spence, and his trainer is a Hall of Fame, Pepe Guerrero. Pepe Guerrero, you know, Simon Brown. Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Great fighter. We'll see if I can get him on one of these panels, man. Him and Pepe. That'll be a great reunion. Great reunion. Pepe and Simon and Maurice Blocker. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on it. Yeah. So we're gonna have some things going on. I like to keep it interesting. Everybody has their own lane. My lane is my lane. So I like to keep it informative, like it interesting, and most importantly, honest. I like to be objective. So I'm only struggle against slick, stick, and move fighters like Buddy McGirt. Actually, no. He struggled that night because his ass was overweight. No excuses, but because he fought a guy by the name of Al Bumblebee Long, and his mentor was a guy by the name of Sugar Ray Leonard. So slick fighters shouldn't be his problem. His problem that he was going blind in one eye. Because in all reality, if he wasn't messed up, his eye wasn't messed up, he had Buddy's number. Because he saw when he started coming on in the later rounds, Buddy had no answer for him, but that eye was messed up at that point and he couldn't see, you know? But I give Buddy all due credit. Remember, we had him on a couple of times, and I tell him that, you know? Give him all due credit for what he did, man. But when Simon started coming on, Buddy had no answer at all. He spit out his mouthpiece and he had to bite down and keep going. And body shots started getting to him, man. But yeah, I really see Simon beating Spence if they ever fought. Just like I see him knocking out Tito if they ever fought. Say what you want to say, but Simon had more tools than him too. Because Tito fought in one direction, and if you could avoid the hook like Hopkins did and stick him and move, you got Tito. You got Tito where you want him to. But just since we're talking on hypothetical situations, what do y'all think about Tito versus Spence and Floyd when he chopped him down, and Floyd versus Crawford at 147? What do you think about that fight? No, no, no. You want to play all fair, make it Floyd at 140, right? Oh no! Look at what's up, superstar. Look who came in the building.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man. How's everything going?
I don't have no complaints, man. I just, you're talking to. I've been tapping in. I've been watching you in the background. You're doing a good thing here.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better with time when I learn how to add little tricks into the trade and all that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to tap in on this subject with Buddy and Mr. Earl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Go ahead, jump all in it.
I just feel like it's funny in sports how you could tell who's an avid sports fan and who knows what they're talking about. We had this conversation before when people are ESPNers, the people that watch the highlights, they listen to what people say, and then they come up with this formula of being able to present what the fight represents without actually seeing the fight. I didn't see the fight, but what I'm hearing is weird. I did see the finish of it. I expected Buddy to beat him, and I expected him to beat him a long time ago because a lot of things have shifted through time. There was a lot more Earl fans before this fight came together. And then people started realizing, we need to stop, underestimating Bud for real. Because I've been watching Bud for a long time. You understand? Like,
I always said he had more tools in the toolbox than Spence.
well, I made the comment that he can switch up, you know what I'm saying, from southpaw, to, and without a problem. And honestly, he's been fighting southpaw for a while now because he
Yes.
first started regular, and then he went lefty, and then he kind of felt comfortable with the lefty, but nobody has really given him an answer for his transition. You know what I'm saying? To become southpaw,
That's
which
true.
I
That's
found
true.
amazing. That's not his strong suit. His strong is, he's right-handed. For those people that don't know that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's why that jab was moving Spence back the way that he was throwing a shotgun jab all night.
he's throwing a jab with his power hand. Like, people don't understand this. Like, it's not a regular jab, man. When you can tap somebody with a jab with your power hand, it coming with a little bit more oomph in it. So you know that it's giving you more damage. And then when you underestimate the jab and you get punched in the face, it's a lot of damage going into your eye and your nose and your cheek. You know what I'm talking about. You have so much experience.
Yeah, because you know what happened when he was in the car accidents, Spence. I believe he got plastic surgery. That's why his face looked so damaged after the fight, because he started swelling up by the second round. He started having eye damage by the second round. And his face was pinkish,
And
and
then,
it
yeah,
wasn't from blood.
yeah,
Yeah.
color too. I was going to tell you that. I got a question for you. Do you think that Spence was ever the same after the accident?
Well, honestly, let me tell you what I think. I think that after the accident, he fought Danny Garcia, and he looked good against Danny Garcia. Then he fought Ugas after the eye injury, and he did his thing. But I think he had worries. He even said it himself when he lost concentration in the Ugas fight. He thought something happened to his teeth. Because remember, he had knocked out his teeth in the car accident too. So when he got hit by Ugas, he was worried more about his teeth than the fighter in front of him.
Oh,
So
so,
I think,
wait, are you saying that for that fight he did not have natural teeth?
no, his teeth were messed up in the car crash, man.
So these are
Because remember,
teeth.
yeah, because remember, he was doing over 100 miles an hour when he was drunk and he was thrown from the Ferrari or whatever he was driving.
And plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
How much damage can that situation take?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
obviously there was the physical damage, but you got to look at, there's some mental damage too, right? Because
Absolutely cerebral,
yeah,
without doubt.
because if you're in the middle of a fight and you're concerned about your teeth, That means you're flashing back to what happened to you, right?
In the middle of the fight? Yeah.
Right, right. Because you have to look at this also. Vinny Pazienza was in a car accident and broke his damn neck.
Oh, his whole
R-
collar joint.
Yeah, and he came back. Remember,
Yes, he did. And he
he
came
came
back
back
with a
and he made some money. He even fought Roy Jones on his comeback and got his behind whooped. But
he looked really swollen. He went to the weight room. They'll say he came back really big, way
yeah,
above his weight class, right? His natural weight.
yeah, man. He looked like yeah. He looked like kind of an enforcer for the mob. He buffed up so much,
I'm
right?
not gonna lie, bro. He came back cock diesel. I'm not gonna lie. He came back pretty stocked
Yeah,
up.
man. He definitely couldn't make 135 no more.
Hell no. What, bro? Those are our thighs combined. You know what I'm saying? We could. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that.
Yeah, but the truth is, when I saw Spence and Crawford at the weigh-in, I said, "Wow, Spence is so much bigger than him." But I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I thought the first 4 rounds were gonna be all Spence, and then Crawford from 5 till 10 was just gonna handle him and stop him in the 10th. Lo and behold, he stopped him in the 9th, and he tagged him in the second. He dropped him in the second.
I didn't see the fight. Can you give me the Mr. Graham, the great short version of what happened in the fight from your perception and perspective?
Well, the short version is the first round, Spence came out with his pressure, and he might have edged that round and took that round. The
Okay.
second round, he tried to pressure him, but Crawford got into a rhythm with his jab, and Spence could not see his left hand coming whatsoever. So, and
Wow.
every time he
From the second round.
the second round, so every time he threw his jab, he didn't just he didn't just stop Spence, he moved him backwards. So when he threw that left hand, he couldn't see it because once you move backwards, you have to readjust and get back your footing and everything. That takes what, a second or two, right? And while you're doing that, here comes this left hand for your trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept catching him on the temple, the worst place to get hit. He kept catching him on that temple, boom, boom, every single time. And then as he got more comfortable, he started catching him with a right hook. And every now and then he caught him with an uppercut, and it was just brutal. By the 7th round, and it was just the fight should have been stopped, but the bell saved him.
Really?
Yeah, because he hit Spence so hard that he didn't just fall down; he flew back into the ropes and fell down.
Oh, an assistant. Okay, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, he was by the ropes. He was not too far from the ropes, but the force of the punch took him back, and he just crumbled. And then I said, "This fight's over. This fight is over." 3 rounds later, fight over. You know?
Got you. Second question. Check this out. I want you to help me describe Bud's style, because obviously if his power hand is his right and he's jabbing with his right and then he's actually using the right as other punches as well. Help me understand this. Is there a name for something like this when you are naturally right-handed, right? And you switch and you go southpaw, and then you lead with the right as your jab, yet your left is like kind of a decoy so that you could sleep on the left and then come with the right kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Hagler did the same thing. Hagler, I think, was naturally a right-hander, but he fought left-handed, right?
That's correct.
And the same thing with Oscar De La Hoya. He's a southpaw in real life, but he fought orthodox. That's
Because
why when
he was trying to lure them in, right?
yeah, that's why when he threw that left hook, he usually would knock somebody out, and that right hand of his could do damage to you too, depending, But it was mainly his left hook, because he was really a southpaw in real life, but he never fought southpaw.
Interesting point. Interesting.
Whereas
So,
with Spence,
what would you call that? What would you call it? The Hagler? What would you call
no,
it?
it's just called switch hitting. You can switch hit. That's all it is. You can switch hit. Most good talented fighters are taught how to switch hit, but you have to be very, very good at it to actually be like Crawford or be like Hagler, to be so comfortable fighting the wrong style for you that you make it your style, right? Because
Correct.
everything is opposite. Everything is opposite when you do that. And it feels funny when you're jabbing with your right hand, because I learned how to do that too. But it feels funny when you're jabbing with your right. But for some reason, you get a little faster. Your jab comes a little faster when you're throwing it with your right.
Of course, if that's your initial usage hand, you're gonna do everything better with the right. You're gonna dribble better with the right, but I don't know if you ever went through this. My father, he taped and tied my right hand down and had me practice jabs for so long, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like that whole.
That's that old school stuff.
Bro? Did you go through this yourself, man? Where they
Well,
take
yes
your
and
right
no.
hand?
Yes and no. I taught myself for a long time, so I was the young kid who was just happy with his right hand. I wasn't setting it up with a jab. So when I started losing, I stopped boxing for 6 months, and all I did was practice my jab, right hand. For the first 3 months, it was just learning how to jab and doing everything with the left hand, jab, hook, uppercut, and then the next 3 months was jab, right hand, and all of that. So yeah, I know. And on top of that, I read about Joe Louis, and his trainer did that. He tied his right hand to his hip and made him learn how to jab.
My father did that to me. He dead ass put ropes across my body, and I couldn't move my right arm, and everything was jab, 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 hook, 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 uppercut, uppercut, cross, cross, and then I realized how weak I was in my left hand, bro, and I thank God that he did that. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you have two hands, you're taught that when you're taught any type of martial arts, especially boxing, don't abuse nobody. Don't use it in the street because you have the upper hand. Like use it as a self defense. Live to see another day. Yes, that's the way that I've learned. So, but in situations, had my father never taught me how to use my left hand, I might have been hammed up. You understand what I'm saying? In certain situations, that my left hand has helped me contribute to the situation. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're fighting more than one person or we're in an altercation. You ever been in a rumble? You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't know where the punches is coming from. So that's what I'm referring to. In the ring, you're fighting one person. If you don't have a left hand, you're gonna get tagged. Do you agree? If you don't have a left hand in the boxing ring, you're gonna get tagged really hard. Like you don't have the use of your hand. You don't even know how to block.
Well,
You know,
to be
like,
honest with you, in most cases, a lot of fighters have broken their power hand a lot, like Hearns. Hearns used to break his right hand, but as long as he could jab, he was okay. Pernell Whitaker used to do it all the time. He had fragile hands. He always seemed to break his power hand, but he could beat you with that jab and move. You know. Perfect example is Tommy Morrison. You remember Tommy Morrison?
he had A's
Right,
and
dude? Yeah.
he got beat up badly by Mercer.
Mercer mercilessly beat the hell out of him. Yes.
I will never forget that. That was some wild shit.
Yeah, yeah, but he fought another tough guy who was call him a club fighter. His name was Joe Hip.
Oh shit!
Joe, yeah,
Yes,
Joe,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Joe Hip. He's actually
Banger, right?
no, 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 no. He's Indian. Joe Hip is actually like a Native American fighter, right?
What I'm saying,
Tough.
he's a banger. He bangs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tough. Yeah, tough guy. But he had bad knees. And sometimes he would wear a brace in the ring. But Tommy Morrison broke both his hands against Hip and still knocked him out. Yeah, but he suffered. He suffered though, because that had to hurt. That had to hurt.
You're using broken hands on somebody's bones, bro. I want to ask you a question. Khan made a comment, and it brought me to another time. What did he say? He said that Panzienza fought Duran at 168.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Later on, Duran. Yeah, later on,
What
Duran.
happened?
Yeah.
What happened in that fight?
I want to say Pazienza won that fight because Duran was a little washed up and fought and all in the ring corner at that point. He wasn't really Duran. He was just there to collect the check.
So, but Khan also said that Roy Jones beat the shit out of Panzienza. Is that correct?
Yes, that was. Oh man, you ever seen that fight? I give you a little.
Yes, I did.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Roy Jones, I'm actually working on getting him too on the show. There was a point where Roy Jones hit him with an uppercut, and then you have to readjust to throw the hook and everything else. He didn't readjust at all. He did one solid motion, uppercut, hook, right hand, and then finished. Ooh, how do you do that without readjusting? He was incredible when he was
I
right.
think that's his core, bro. I think his core, because I've been working on core lately, bro, and your core can allow you to throw full range of motion punches and then have another one come without having to shift your feet.
Roy, he was ripped like hell when he was younger too. So yeah.
Oh, Roy was, bro, I don't care what anybody says. Roy was one of my favorite fighters of all time. I don't have a big list of favorite fighters. Roy is
Yeah, he was he just had the body, he had the God-given gifts. You can't
Showtime.
mimic and you can't mimic anything he did because those are gifts from God. You can't.
The
Just
only
like with
problem
Julian
I
Jackson.
saw was that the clowning around, it caught up to him. You know what I'm saying? The clown.
No, it wasn't no clowning around. This is what caught up to him. When you get older, things start to slow down. And if you don't have the fundamentals, like the reason why Hopkins was able to stay around so long, because he had damn near perfect fundamentals and he knew how to be dirty and get away with it. So I mean, it's only dirty if you get caught. But
Well, it was
you
it
know what
was
I'm saying.
Tarver's long arms that have a lot to do with the demise or diminish of Roy Jones, right?
Well, that too, and like I said, when you get older, those God-given gifts start to slow down,
Oh, without
right?
a doubt, I can't, bro. I'm 54, bro. I'm saying like
Yeah.
I'm not 32 years old or 27. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and if you don't have the fundamentals to back them up, which Roy never relied on the fundamentals. He never did. He didn't have to. James Toney, on the other hand, was exceptional with the fundamentals. That's why he could lay on the ropes and watch you, and then kill you coming off the ropes. Right?
He was a
You saw
different.
what he did to Iran Barkley.
He
He
was a
saw
different.
that. That was beautiful.
He
That
was
was
a
a
different type
beautiful
of
damn
fighter.
fight.
Really good at capitalizing on your mistakes, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Yes.
and if you want to see Bernard Hopkins at his best, go watch him fight Kelly Pavlik, who was on the show actually Friday night. He was on the panel. Uh, he's everybody thought Kelly was going to slaughter him, and he schooled Kelly. He
Yes, he
schooled him.
did. But I'll give him a better one. Just my opinion is when he took care of my man Tito. You know what I'm saying? When he took care of
That
Trinidad.
too. That was another schooling. Everybody
Trinidad
thought.
had no business being in that tournament, brother. Okay, I said it from
Let
the
me tell
beginning.
you something. Let me tell
Okay,
you what I know, right? Which is the truth. Let me tell you. Well, no, not in the tournament. He had no business in the ring with Hopkins. But let me tell you, I knew that Hopkins was going to win
because
that
of
fight.
Hopkins, though, because of Hopkins, he didn't belong. He shouldn't have been in that tournament.
Right, but when you go to Puerto Rico and you snatch the flag out of their hero's hand and step on it in a country feel, you know how prideful your countrymen are, just like Jamaicans, right? He stepped on the Puerto Rican flag in Puerto Rico. He had to be ushered out of there by helicopter. He ran his ass off real quick, and he had to hide behind security and soldiers, and they flew him out that day.
I don't know how he got away.
I
This
don't know
what
how he got away either.
not in Puerto Rico. That's nothing to play with. Obviously, he got
No,
away with it,
and
bro.
he found that out because he hauled ass. He I think they had to call the National Guard. He had to get up out of there.
They have to call Elon Musk, bro. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, get this man into space. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah, he snatched that flag out of Tito's hand and stepped on it, just stomped on it, and then there's this uneasy quiet. Then you see him looking, and then you see him hauling ass.
Oh
You
man.
should know better than that, boy. I didn't know someone in their 40s could move that fast.
Nah, bro, that he looked like Carl Lewis in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, gotta get out of here. But
Not even Carl Lewis. He was Ben Johnson.
uh, maybe Jesse Owens. I mean, we could take it back to the Howard Cosell days or even before that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, what you're doing here is a beautiful thing, bro. I can't thank you enough for coming up here and talking about boxing. It's not a boxing
All
fan.
right.
I just
I
don't get along with
appreciate it,
those
man.
that talk shit about something. Like I came up here telling you I didn't see the fight and I asked you your version of it because I trust your view of fighting. I don't trust a lot of people's view. It's like people that say, I went to the movies and that movie was the worst movie I've ever seen. And then when you see it, the shit was fantastic. Like what are you watching, bro? Are you so that goes back to boxing. What fight were you watching, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like I have
Mm-hmm.
controversial arguments with people when they say, "Oh, this guy won the fight easily." I'm like, "Are you serious, bro? What point system are you using? Do misses count? You understand what I'm saying? Like, because I don't understand the mathematics in boxing. You already know we've had this controversial conversation about especially with Major, about how corrupt boxing lost a lot of its superpower and its naturalness and its organicness
Mm-hmm.
from that. Ever since the Pete Rose era in baseball, I started watching how corrupt boxing actually really was. You know what I'm saying? So it's been that way, I think.
Oh, I got you. I got you, man. But the truth is, it's hard to find some people nowadays that could actually break down a fight. Everybody, I mean, because the whole reason behind me getting back to what I was doing, because I really don't want to waste my time on anybody else's panel because it's always going to start into an argument, and then we go away from the subject matter. when it comes to boxing, right?
Well, that's the facts for you. When you speak facts and you speak from experience, it's hard to debunk it. But they spend so much energy in trying to make you look like shit instead of learning from each other, so we could have a consensus. You know what I'm saying? That's not the type of argument that I want to have. If I'm gonna have an argument, it has to be spitting facts. Because if somebody's spitting bullshit and somebody's spitting facts, that's not a good conversation, bro.
And I'll be honest with you, you know, the reason why I only do the panels with different guests on Fridays, because the show when I was with Major, you know, the guests were the vocal point, but I don't want to do that over here. I want them to come on and be just like you know, just be a panelist and be at ease where they don't have to feel like, okay, we got me over there and I'm the main focus and I got to interview. No, just come on here and be, because look, I had Kelly Price, my God, Kevin Kelly. Remember Kevin Kelly from back in the day?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Shit.
the Flushing Flash. Yeah, he was on there. He gave me his time. Thankful for that. Kelly Pavlik. Thankful for that, brother. Andre Rozier.
Had some. I was just telling one of my colleagues a few minutes ago. You have got a nice resume of interviews, my brother.
Well, you know. Well, you know what I tell people, man, that's actually God. People, when you start talking to people, they get to know, they get to see and know who you are if they give you enough time to open up your mouth, right? Because James Toney the same way. He's you got to work with him to get him on, but I can get him on though, right?
Right.
He's always a good interview because he's raw. He don't hold back.
But that's what you want. What you want somebody to work on eggshells and worried about what they're saying. Say the truth.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same thing, you know, with Hassan. That's the same thing with Hasim Rahman. He's raw too. He's not gonna hold back on you. He's just a little bit more subtle than James Toney. He's not gonna hold back on you whatsoever, though. You know.
I'll never forget the bump he had on his head. That's how I will always remember him. The bump on his head.
You got to watch that interview over there on Major Key when I asked him about that. I asked him point blank, what the hell happened in that fight, brother? And he was like, well, Holyfield's a genius. He really knows how to use his head. And then he got quiet. And he basically said that every time he threw a punch, he threw his head. And that's what happened, right? And he's still upset about that, man. He's still upset about that.
I mean, you know, it's a risky business when you use your head because it could backfire on you. You could hit it with the wrong part of your head, and you could be the victim of a swelling or of a sensitive area. So there's risk involved with that too. Also, when you throw elbows, you miss with the hook, but you hit them with the elbow behind it. You feel me? Like, there's a lot of tricks. You know this dirty shit, bro. My father always tried to shy me away from using dirty tactics. You know what I'm saying? What happened? Did you leave your own show? Okay, so welcome.
I'm back, man. I should kick myself out.
You left me alone with your own show. Welcome. and we're talking boxing tonight.
yeah, brother. That was my fault. I was trying to send a comment to Con Shonery. But let me answer Con Shonery real quick. That's exactly what I mean, Con Shonery. I'm not for all the nonsense anymore. You get to a point where you just want to, we could be passionate and have fun talking about the sport. It don't have to come down to insults and threats and carrying on and just straight up foolishness. It's just, I'd rather not take it there, you know?
A lot of people make money off the nonsense because that's what attracts a lot of numbers. But I'd rather have a quality conversation with a small amount of numbers to be full of shit, bro. This ain't none of facade. I came here because I know who you are. I wouldn't just jump off somebody's. I came here because I know who you are. I know how you rock. You know, when it comes to this boxing shit, you take this shit extremely seriously. I was born into boxing, so I know that I deserve to be here, but I'm not coming up here acting like I know shit. I'm coming over here to share some shit and to extract some information from you. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you who I'm going to work on getting for Friday's panel, man. You're going to like it. Pepe Carrera.
Oh shit, bro.
Yeah, Pepe's cool people. He's friends with my mom. He's friends with my parents and everything.
Oh man. Bro, have you had what's his name? Keith Thurman? No, not yet.
No, I tried to get him because he's friends with Winky Wright, and I asked Winky to try and hook that up, but he said he was going to work on it, but never got back with me.
But it's going to be hard because now he's throwing jabs at Bud, right? He's going after Bud, I guess, a little bit.
I guess, but I could reach out to Winky and see see if I get him. Or I could reach out to somebody I know and see if I get him. But he's someone I've always wanted to talk to because he's another one. He's a good interview, but I don't want to do interviews. I want to just have him on the panel, just like I have you, and let the
Right.
conversation flow. Because when we're doing the interview, it's kind of even though when it comes to me and Major doing stuff, we don't script it. Like you could tell when somebody has a set of questions, and then when they run out of that, they him and ha, right?
They're
I
winging it. They're winging it.
winging it. Like with me, I actually study even if I know the fighter's history, I'll still go study because there's always room to learn more. And then once I study, I can just let the conversation flow and go wherever it goes from there, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit up here and go him and ha and just use my common sense just because I know it. Perfect example is when we had we had the promoter by the name of Samson up there. He's a promoter for David Benavidez, right? And I did some reading on him, and then we had a good conversation, and we and him just got into this rhythm. And I told him I really didn't care too much for one fighter, and he was like, "Well, I tell you what, if this guy fights on Saturday, he just fired back at me kind of subtle, and he said, then he turned around and said, you know what, I got to come back here because it's the only show that I've been on where I feel so comfortable, and I didn't feel like I had to, I could just be me,
I get
right?
it. The pressure
Yeah.
of too many rules. You have to do this and appeal to this and appeal to that. Bro, no, bro. It's a safe haven for people to come up and express themselves. Obviously, you have to know a little bit of boxing and have a conversation up here.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
mean,
Like, come on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, that's the fun part with me that I'm able to just. This is the fun part with me because I could flow with anybody, whether it be someone like you, James Tony, who people hear him speak and say, "Oh, something." No, let me tell you, if you ask him about any of his fights, whether they be yesterday or 20 years ago, he could tell you the time, date, break down the rounds for you and everything.
Winky
He's
was
sharp. He's diamond tip sharp when it comes to his fights. You know that?
Winky was no joke. You, you ever spoke to Mark Breland?
I worked on that, but no, I haven't.
That's an interesting individual right there. I will tell you that. You might have fun with that guy. You know what I'm saying? The way that you ask questions, you know what I'm saying? You might have a little bit of fun that night.
You never know, right?
You never know what you're gonna get with certain people because a lot of people really never had that training to come up and speak and they get a little bit besides themselves. But you always create a good like a comfortable platform for people to open up. The things that they talk about on your platform are really crazy, bro.
Well, to be honest with you, this is my thing. I'm not really one to be starstruck and all that, but I give them the amount of respect that they should get, but I keep it on a level like we're all on the same level. I respect you for what you've done, and I respect you for your time, most importantly, because time is not something that you can really pay anybody back for, right? So I really respect people's time, and that comes out when with everything we do. Me and when it was me and Major, it worked out great. Yeah, like I tell him, he's good by himself, but he's great with me, and I'm good by myself. But I'm great with him. But if I got to fly solo, I'll fly solo. But it's cool with me.
You got to do what you
Yeah,
got to do. Another one
yeah.
I wish you would have recorded the late Hector Camacho. That would have been an interesting.
Oh man, yeah, because I actually went to school right like a block or two from the projects he grew up in. 'Cause
Oh
I went to
wow!
school in the South Bronx, Alfred E. Smith, which is right after over. I think it's 149th and Grand Concourse was the stop
Actually,
I used to get back on.
151st and Cortland Avenue.
Yeah, so I wasn't too far from his projects. It wasn't too far from my high school.
Yeah, right across the street, the projects. That was where I used to go do the summer youth. And Smith. Smith was a technical school, right?
Yeah, yeah. They taught auto. They taught shop. What are they taught?
Carpentry. They had carpentry shop,
Carpet.
automotive.
Yes, yes, yes. They sure did. They had all of that. I want to say they had a nursing program in there because we had, I think maybe only the 100 women in the class or whatever have you. I don't really. I mean, in the whole school. In the
Definitely
whole
a
school.
lot of
Yeah.
guys, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And back in those times, when did you go to high school? In the 30s, right? Something like that.
Yeah, but 1945 around that time. Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't the one to talk shit. I went to high school in the 83 to 86 or something like that. So
No,
that
I
kind
was
of
there 80, 87, 80, 87, 87. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, shit, I grew up with Mike Tyson fresh out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Customato and that whole craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit,
Mike
bro.
is 4 years. Is he 4 years younger than me? I think he's 4 or 5 years younger than me, but older than me. I'm sorry, older. There was an interview that I remember. I was 15 years old, so he had to be 20, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody asked him about losing to whoever he was going to fight. I think Frazier, and he said, "Excuse me." He said, "Excuse me." No, who said that? And all the whole room of reporters was like this. Everybody got quiet, right?
Wow.
And he had on the hat, the hat, the vest. He looked like one of them old school boxers, like from Joe Louis days, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
and, and the guy and the reporter said, aren't you afraid of losing? It's Frazier. He's from Philly. His father and all. He's like, excuse
Classic.
me. Uh,
That's
so
classic, bro.
yeah, so that was.
That's classic shit. You see, a lot of
Yeah.
I have this conversation with people, and I try to tell people without telling them. I'm like, listen, I was pretty much born in Madison Square Garden. My father did the Golden Gloves, the Spanish gloves, the silver gloves, the kid gloves. I participated in some of these things. My mother said that she didn't want me in boxing, so my father decided to teach me how to fight without getting me into the competition of it. And I asked myself, damn, could I have done some damage in boxing? I don't know. I don't know. I definitely not the type to like to get hit. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to work a lot on defense.
There was a fighter that I met. I was supposed to have on the show, Harold Weston. The name's
Harold Weston, holy shit!
be wrong about.
Hold on, let me look this guy up. I know there's a Harold Weston that's an American painter.
I could look him up. He was one. Harold Weston was one of those guys that he fought Hearns twice. I think he took Hearns to the distance. One of the first guys that he took Hearns to the
Oh,
distance.
Harold Weston Jr., right?
Young guy, yeah, from what 1980 something. Did he fight? Did he say his age yet?
Let me look it up. It says he was born. What the heck? Korea, 1970 to 79. He had 40 bouts, welterweight division, but
If
it's
he
not.
fought Tommy Hearns, then that's him. If he fought
Yeah,
Tommy Hearns,
Thomas Hearns. He fought Thomas Hearns.
okay, that's
Oh,
the dude.
he also fought Wilfred Benitez. You remember
He fought
Wilfred?
everybody actually. I think he fought Duran and all them too. He fought everybody. He was
Oh,
he
he
was one of those.
fought Sammy Masias, Jose Palacios, Pipino
Hmm.
Cuevas, Jose Rodriguez.
Hmm.
Holy
Hmm.
shit, bro.
Yes, Harold Weston was a tough guy. He was that guy that you measured your fighter against. He was a tough guy, very tough.
He fought Wilfredo twice. Oh, man.
Hmm.
Damn. Oh, he fought Vito Artufamo, bro. Wow.
Yeah, see, Harold was one of them tough guys. I tell you a little secret about
Oh,
him too. He actually managed a fighter that you just spoke about from the Bronx.
Hector.
Yeah, he was one of his first managers. He kept him straight.
Wait, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
I'll tell you a story about Hector Camacho. Check this out. I don't really share this with anybody. My brother can say this story better. One time, Hector Camacho, I think he slapped me or punched me in my face. Right? I was watching a fight. Something happened. I wasn't even paying attention. Listen to me. This is some wild shit. So my father used to own this place called Solar Sporting Club. You can look it up. It was on 28th Street, not right up the block from the Fashion Institute of Technology. It's a place where people used to go and train before they had an actual fight at the Garden. A lot of people used to go there. So Hector Camacho put his hands on me, and then my father called him in the locker room, and he nearly put Hector Camacho through the locker. You understand, to come to my aid and shit after he found out what happened. So again, you could interview you and my brother, my older brother, would have the craziest boxing conversations, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a little older than me. So he remembers it from a different perspective, because here I am, a pain in the ass, 4, 5, 6 years old, running around the Garden, with Gordon, that he used to be one of the managers there, Jerry Gordon, I think, and all those big wigs that they also ran the Knicks too. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't just the boxing events. They had the Knicks on Smash. They had the Rangers on Smash when the Rangers were a shitty team, and I was always in the garden, bro. Like all those fights that you see in the Foul Forum or at the garden. Like I went to all those shits, bro. Like anything from 1974 or 75, I want to say. I went to all those major fights. I saw the guy from Taxi fighting, bro. The boxer Tony
Tony
Danza.
Danza. Tony
Him
Danza.
fighting in the ring. I seen that dude that 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 they offed him in the ring, bro. I was there in that fight, bro.
Who's that? Boom Boom Mancini. You saw that was the guy. That was the fight.
Yeah, and you know that Emil Griffith had an office in my father's
I
bro.
saw that fight where when dude died in the ring and his that. Oh, I can't get that out of my head. I can't
That's
get
what I'm
out.
trying to tell you. Emil Griffith had an office in my father's gym. He had his own office. It said it. Emil Griffith's office. Keep out. I remember that shit. I used to play Power Rangers back in the days with my friends, you know. And he had an office there, and I met this man, the most humblest man. That's what I remember from this guy. The most humblest man I ever met in my life, bro. And then when I heard his story about what happened, I said, "Oh my lord, bro." And then I saw the actual footage. I said, "Oh shit!" Like you know what it is when you see the rage in somebody, bro, and he just let it out, and he off that man in the ring. I don't want to hear that he was on the way to the hospital. That man was done in the ring, bro.
Tell you what, I cannot get that out of my head. I watched this thing over 10 years ago, and I cannot get because I watched the entire fight. It was on. I forgot where I watched it. Well, it was probably on YouTube, right? And I watched the entire fight, and to just see the life, you could see the life come out of his body. You could see it, and it was just like, wow, wow, you know.
When you make somebody's chin turn into his forehead because of the uppercuts and what did he get hit with? He got hit with uppercuts
I
and
don't
cross.
even want to remember. I don't want to remember. But look who stepped in the room is Havoc slash Joe Chapo.
Man, I'm
Oh,
trying to
you
change this shit
serious?
now, yo. How the fuck do I change this? It's not letting me, yo.
Oh, he came in to
Not
play
letting
our
me, dude.
games. I love it.
Fucking shit.
Havoc was popping, bro.
Damn it, yo. I can't change it. What the fuck, yo?
It's just gonna have to be Havoc. Havoc
Nah,
Chapo.
B.
So this
That
is
shit is burning my skin, yo.
Javik. Can we say Javik or Jovac or
Havoc.
Call me Jovic.
Hajo? You know what I'm saying or something?
Jovic, huh? That's my Russian name.
This is
Jovic.
Jovic. I'm from Russia.
Jovic.
Yes, and
It's
I
good,
drink.
man. I was listening, man. Interesting, man.
Yeah, but this is what I do. I mean, if you got tuning on Tuesdays, I do. I'm really trying to get the police on here, like a sheriffs or politicians, and do like a Q&A with them. I'm working on it, but it's gonna take some time.
What is it going to be based on boxing or it's just a whole bunch of
No,
questions?
look, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when I do boxing, right?
Okay.
Thursdays, Thursdays and Saturday, I don't really do anything, and Sundays I do what's called sexual Sundays. So we always have some
Yeah,
grown and
what's
stuff
that
we
about,
talk.
bro? Do I have to bring my own pole or something? Like, what are we doing on Sundays? What the hell's going
It
on?
all depends. Hey, I don't know if you saw the Sunday show, but it was asking the question, what is more important during sex, timing or experience? So
Oh no! Wait,
You want me
wait.
to answer that
I
as
saw
Havoc
that
or Joe?
when Jess jumped on, I knew it was fire time, and I had to get the hell
yeah,
out. When I saw Jess jump on,
yeah.
I said, "This is about to get too crazy," and I took a step back. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like,
She's great. I'm glad she jumped on.
"No,
I'm
she's
glad
great
she
people."
jumped on. So yeah,
No, she's
if
great people. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying, you know that when she comes on and certain subject matters that people are a little bit more, how can I say this?
free,
Yeah, they're a little bit more
but
evolved in that subject matter. You know what I'm saying?
nah. But you know what? I'm sick of seeing these videos where cops do this and that to good people. So that's why I want to get the police on here to do the Q&A. And then because people have so many questions about police, I want them to talk to the police. Just it's got to and do that. I don't want to. I don't because I don't know what else to do. I personally don't have any power to do anything,
Have
but
you
I do
reached
have
out to
a
him? Have you
yeah,
Awareness
reached
is
out to the
yeah,
cop
good.
yeah,
yet?
Awareness is a good
yeah,
start.
yeah. I'm actually reaching out to my mentor who knows a sheriff, and he's gonna talk to the sheriff, and then I'm gonna get the sheriff on here. And there's a congresswoman I want to get on here as well, and then just some other people that I know. I've come across in life that are
I
in.
had to hit like, I
Yeah.
swear to lie, I had to hit probably like 50 cops before I got one to him and come on and shit. Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
not.
many rules. They have like, well, they hide behind what they say is they got rules and regulations that they can't just go out and do interviews and talk shit and
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
They
but
got
when you're
they
the
got
sheriff,
policy. It's policy.
yeah, but when you're the sheriff, you're a little bit you have more liberty to actually take questions and speak because I have a brother that's a cop, but you notice I never mentioned I was going to get him on here, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. So basically, I think there are certain people that are more trained and more efficient with the way they speak, so that it doesn't become a bashing party, and they have good etiquette. They know how to handle each
And
other.
as a matter of fact,
The easy ones is the advocates, the ones that's like police advocates and stuff
Oh,
like that. They will be more
shop
likely.
stewards?
Yeah.
Yeah, the shop stewards.
Mhm.
yeah, I got a childhood friend who was a cop too, but he's a 5%. He's not the type to want to come on and do anything online. So
You
he's
need
just
you need some brass. You need a little supervision in there because they know how to handle questions better. And if they feel like you're digging too deep, you'll see
I
that
got
they
plenty of people that was arrested by cops if you want that.
Nah,
oh
I got a brother who's a former kingpin and he turned his life around. I'm so proud of him. He owns his truck, he does his thing, but
That's what's
he don't want to come on. I mean, he's come on and watched the show a couple of times, but he's never really jumped on because he's like, that stuff is behind me. I don't really want to keep talk. I'll talk to you about it, but I don't want
oh I didn't know that about Jay, bro. Holy shit.
what.
That's hilarious.
Cool, brother Jay.
Brother Jay, where you at, Jay? He's like, my ear is ringing.
Yeah.
Nah, but
Right
that's
now,
good.
he in the back of his truck, like, what the fuck?
You're like, oh shit, damn. Well, they talking shit about me on every platform.
I'm
So
definitely working. I'm working on some things, man. I just want to do something that suits my soul because I can't really. I've been on other boxing platforms. I'm not going back on them. I've spent too much. I gave away too much of my good time, and it really wasn't for the benefit of me. So I'm not. No, I'm not gonna do that no more.
Bro, keep your
You
peace,
should
bro.
change the channel name to From the Soul with Troy Graham as a
That's right.
ringtone.
That's right. Different ways to cook Vienna sausages live. How about that?
From the Soul with
Only if
Troy
it's
Graham.
turkey. Only if it's turkey.
Yo,
This is the vegan channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's
yo,
go.
pork is good all the time. All the time, pork is good.
Shit, there's no spam.
Not if you ask the pig. No.
Not everybody likes spam. I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying?
I can't trust anybody that don't like spam, yo. Fuck that, yo.
I don't like spam. What the hell are you talking
There
about?
you go, yo. You can't trust Troy, yo.
Turkey
You
spam.
don't
Turkey
like
spam. But look, spam is loaded with sodium.
spam
I
and
actually
cheese
bought
and
it once by
spam
mistake
turkey.
because I thought it was corned beef when I was a child. I'm a corned beef man.
How do you
Oh, I love
mistake
corned beef
corned
too.
beef with spam? Those are two different cans, bro.
No,
Two
no, it's not. It's the same. It's the same shape can.
Fuck
Nah,
out of here, bro.
the corned
Look,
beef
look, corned beef is
is
a
big
yellow
at the top.
red can, and spam is a blue purple can. What are you talking
He's talking about the one with the key corned beef and shit.
Yeah,
But
the one
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm talking
the one
about.
that
it's
twist.
fat on the top and skinny on the bottom. It goes in an angle and shit, yo. It's shaped like a bad chick, yo.
That's when they started cheating people out of the spam or the corned beef when they started shaping it and cutting off pieces.
Yeah. They say $5, yo.
That's
$5
the
a day.
inflation, bro. What you talking about, bro? You
They
understand?
put a squeeze on the waistline of the can and shit, yo.
Joe, let me ask you a question. You never took corned beef from a can and added potatoes to stretch it out a little bit?
Hell yeah.
Rice and peas. I've added rice and peas and cabbage.
Oh, of course, man. That's mandatory shit right
He's
there.
making
Corned
it a
beef and
dish.
cabbage, yo. Corned beef and cabbage is the shit, yo.
Oh yeah, you don't sleep on the corned beef and cabbage.
There's people that put French fries in that shit too.
Yeah, but have you eaten
Like
official
almost
corned
like
beef?
lemon.
Yeah, corned beef is different. The official corned beef, not the
Fuck
like,
No, I actually cooked up some cabbage and made a cabbage and fish sandwich not too long ago.
Oh, he took it back, Joe. You saw that shit?
Yeah. Was it sardines?
I said fish, man, as a salmon. I don't do sardine no more. Stink up your
I
house.
used to eat that shit straight out the
I swear
can,
to
man.
God, don't tell me you eat salmon from a can because I quit. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me that shit.
Nah, just sardines.
It's been a
Sardines from
while.
can? Shit. Did they have the ink in it? How about octopus? You eat octopus or calamari from a
No, that's actually
But
major.
the can is too oily though, man. When you first pop that shit, I think about
You
3
talking
layers of
about
oil
the sardine from the can is oily?
That shit is like candle wax, bro.
No, but that was a perfect part of it because you throw it in the frying pot with little onions and some tomatoes and green peppers. You get your crackers.
Yeah,
You got
but
a nice little steak.
onions and garlic will make anything taste good. You can have a hot bowl of shit.
Hey,
Onions and garlic, that shit would be butter. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would throw it together with them dry ass crackers my grandmother had in the house.
Dry crackers?
Dry.
What kind of crackers? What's
It's the same crackers that we all eat. I don't care if you're Latino or Jamaican. They're in a red, yellow plastic. I don't remember the name of the crackers.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're round. They're red and yellow plastic thing.
Oh, you talking about the rich one, the Ritz, yeah. That's a rich one.
No. These are from overseas.
No, bro, that just said crackers.
No. These are from overseas, brother. These ain't from here.
Our box said crack ass crackers. That's it, yeah.
Nah, those are the no-frills crackers.
No. These are from overseas. These are from somewhere in the Caribbean.
See what it was.
Don't you get a pair of like Buster Brown shoes when you buy a pack of them shits or some shit like that?
I never had Buster Brown shoes. I had chicken shoes, man.
Oh shit!
Chicken shoes. What the fuck is a chicken shoe?
Conway Special.
Yo,
Conway Special on Fordham Road, man. You ever been to Conway around Fordham Road?
Of course.
Yeah. You know the $15 shoes they had in there.
That shit like in a back alley in wasn't Conway like in a back alley in Fordham and shit, yo? Like
it was okay.
Conway's was the first food truck, first of all, because it used to be Alexander's before Conway's.
Yeah, Alexander's where they sold.
School in Alexander's in Fordham, yeah.
Bro,
I don't know why.
Alexander's on 3rd and one in Fordham. Had a Hearns where Dr. J's used to be at, where Santa Claus. I think he was touching kids or some shit. What the hell was going on? Hey, that's back in the days when Cat was the main attraction in the Chinese food store. So
well, that hasn't went away.
Half a chicken and fried rice was a neighborhood cat.
I can't eat it, yo.
Half a chicken and fried rice. You don't find that no more, do you?
I want to hear the tail wagging onto the box and shit. Yeah,
I want to know why every piece in the pork fried rice looks alike. That's what I want to know. Can you explain?
Yo, that's precision, yo. Precision, yo.
I want to know. I want to know where I want to know. Where they find the rib tips at. How they make better ribs than most people.
Those are the best shits, yo. That's the back. That's cat back.
Right?
That's cat back and ass, yo.
Or maybe that's hyena meat from Hyena Island.
Oh yeah, I do feel a little energized when I eat that. Yeah, it made me want to laugh and run. Yeah.
When you eat,
all I know, man, is that the cats around the neighborhood started shrinking. Like, yeah, man, cats started disappearing.
I gotta go, y'all. I'm already 8 minutes.
All right, man. Go ahead and take care of your business, man. It was good seeing you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Yeah, I might tap over there too, Joe. Show you some love. Get it poppin'.
I got to get up at 7, man, to get to the hospital by 8. I'm having a procedure then tomorrow, so I'm going right to bed after this.
Well, listen, good luck with the procedure, but if you really wanted the information in advance, I could have told you that you were a little bit mental. I could have told you that myself. You know what I'm saying? I love you,
It's always going to be that way, brother. Always going to be that.
Nothing but love here. You know what I'm saying? For those that are going to see this or whatever the case may be, nothing but love here, always and forever, because that's how we roll. Right, Trey?
Yes, sir.
So what we doing? You done with this, or are you gonna keep
going? I'm gonna cut it short. I was gonna try and hang out for another 12 minutes to see if the brothers stop by, but I'm gonna cut it short because I gotta go and get some sleep for tomorrow, man.
Go ahead, bro. Much love and much luck with your procedure. I hope everything works out. Much love to the family and bless you for what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, man. It's a quick fix with me. They're gonna give me a new machine with new batteries that hopefully that'll last another 10 years and I'll still be kicking by then.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what her and her twin sister said, right?
Batteries for her contraption, so you already know how we go. I gotta get new batteries. I'm like, yo, you're real about the sexual Sundays, aren't you? Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, man. You should stop by. I'm doing something again this Sunday. I don't know the subject yet, but it'll come to me before Sunday.
I'll come. You did ask me to tap in on that Sunday, but I was in between some shit. So let me see if I'm up and I'm seeing what's popping. I'll jump in.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and get some of my female friends to drop in because I always want to hear their opinion. Yeah.
Oh shit! You trying to cause controversy? That's what you're doing.
All the time.
It's the controversy itself. Salute to you, my brother. May you have a blessed night, bro.
All right, man. Thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime, bro. Love is love, baby. Got
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from America to Africa. I didn't say that in the beginning, but in all the world, this has been another. You know, I'm just killing time until I get the song, right? I'm not going to leave here till I get a song. But another episode of the Troy Graham Experience for the Three Kings. Listen, every now and then you're going to have one king because each one of those men are involved in their lives with different things at the moment, right? So, but when we come together, mainly you'll probably see all of us here on Fridays, if anything, because everybody seems to be free on Fridays. So those are the nights you'll probably see all three of us, and then a couple of Wednesdays. But we always going to form like Voltron to give you the best that we could do. And if we don't form like Voltron, you got the Black Lion right here, Troy, the Undaunted One Graham, on the Troy Graham Experience. So look, I'm gonna take my picture off here and give y'all that profile. And I'm trying to find a song to take us out with, brother. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, not brothers, but ladies and gentlemen. So just bear with me. We just have a little conversation while I find a song. You know, I don't even know what I want to do yet. But you know me, I always got to take y'all out with something. I don't know, but you know it's gonna be something that you're gonna rock to. So, and I type real slow. I guess I like your company, but we'll see. I think I know what I want. I think I know what I want. So let's try this one right here. Let's try this one right here. Let's see. I think I might do some Big Daddy Kane tonight. Yeah, maybe could be. Yeah, let's see what this is all about. I gotta listen to it first. So I'm gonna put you on mute real quick. Now I don't like that. I don't like when people go on mute while they live. So I'm not gonna do that.
Recordings.
I'm just gonna turn the volume all the way down and keep on letting you hear my voice. You know. And then we'll see. We'll see from there.
Written in our nature, we call an individual into existence, and when that individual comes, the mercy of Allah and the law,
ladies and gentlemen, I found it. This one is Young, Gifted, and Black by Big Daddy Kane. Thank you for coming out. Enjoy. Listen, before I even get into that, I thrive on positivity, man. I think the world would just be a positive place if we each just find a way to help each other because those that control everything are not really going to help us. I'll give you a quick story. There was a tornado that came through Baltimore, I don't know how many years ago, and before it came through, they were handing out sandbags. So I went downtown with my sons. We got like 6 sandbags, put them at all the doors, basement door, you know. So when we woke up the next morning, it was dead rats all in the street because it flooded. And it was trees down in the neighborhood, blocking the roads. One dude, his fence saved his house from this big old tree that fell on it. If it wasn't that fence, it would have split his house in half. The other person, she had just pulled up from working a double shift at the hospital. She was a nurse. Tree fell on her car. Guess what? She didn't make her insurance payment on time. And the roads were being blocked by the trees. But you know what? Instead of waiting for the city to come through and help them, all the neighbors came through and just helped out. Whoever had an axe, whoever had a chainsaw, men got together and left trees on the sidewalk, started cutting them. Some people had fireplaces, so they used them for wood. And we got them rats up out the neighborhood. And everybody just came together. Black, white, Latino, everybody came together, you know, working, non-working, everybody came together, and it was a beautiful thing, man. I had pictures and so forth, but that phone is no longer with me. And my son saw this whole thing go down. That was the beauty of it, how powerful we are when we work together for one solid purpose. And that is why I put the Three Kings together. That's why. Because, like I said, I'm good by myself. And that's not me bragging. I'm good by myself. But my grandmother always taught me there's good, better, and best. And then I said there's good, better, best, and great. And if you do nothing in this life that God gave you, strive to be great. Now, mind you, I say that, but I'm half-stepping on a couple of things in my life, and I need to stop half-stepping. So I'm quick to admit that I speak powerfully, but I have to move powerfully as well. And then I don't expect to see the benefits of what I do right away, but I do expect to see benefits from it, you know, because I don't move with a single mind. I want my children to have something. I definitely want the beautiful granddaughter of mine to have something, you know, looking like her granddaddy when he was younger. Love that child crazy, man, you know. So, and sometimes you just have to show your kids the way by not talking and just do it. So that's what I gotta do. Get off my ass and just do it. So that being said, let me take you out of here with Big Daddy Kane, young, black, and gifted. All right now.
Out of the mercy of Allah and the law written in our nature, we call an individual into existence. And when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say. Rough, rugged, and real, you're gonna stand still to obey your case, so let the man build. Words of rapture that you have to capture, and not just slap you with a handful of literature. The dope, death, fresh, hype, choice, move the poor. Rappers out, replays, bump out, and erase. Competition, you must be on freebase, smoking or choking, bound to be broken. Man, get your damn hands off the mic that I'm choking. Cause I got a stranglehold. It's still cold on parole for the road you stole. Rhymes that you yell out, but you did sell out. Crossed over, lost over here, and I get the hell out. I'm not a pop star, rock and roller. I'm a rebel, blessed, able to hold a mic like a hammer and drop grammar, treat a rapper like a wrestler and body slammer. Those who dispute get treated just like a prostitute. They get the boot played like a flute, so just play mute. Don't even whisper. Open your mouth to speak, and I'ma dish you, rag, tag, and dog. Put you in the morgue because you're petty, confetti, and not ready to.
Bless up one and all. Have a good night, y'all. Have a good night.